Ladies and gentlemen, this is the state of the scene.
Yo, what the fuck is up, Warped Tour? The state of the scene at SOTS Podcast on all social media. Sam here with Marcos. What the fuck is up, Marcos?
I can taste it.
Taste what?
I can taste it in the air. How close we are to new material from Don Broco.
Oh shit! What? That's like
We're so close.
it's a little out of left field for me. Don Broco's not even. They're not even mentioned anywhere in the show today.
Always on the mind, though.
Gotcha,
Always
I
on the
feel you,
mind.
bro.
And I've been gearing up, like, you know, how often I check their socials, see if like maybe something's going on with the website.
You're double checking socials
I don't
right
exactly
now?
want to be the first one to catch it, but look at this. It's been, what, 3 years since Amazing Things, if not 4 years? I don't know. It's felt like forever.
It's been 4 to 6 years, yeah.
All we've had is, like, Toenails, that single, and Birthday Song.
It was definitely like called Fingernails. Toenails is like a grosser version of that song.
It is
That's the
grosser.
remix.
And, like, it's been radio silence for nearly a year, I feel like.
Yeah.
We're due.
Yeah. I mean,
they're about to play Download.
We know that Don Broco were in the studio with Dan Bronstein. So, like,
we know that.
We've had, like, a little bit of stuff trickle out.
The
right?
legend produced everybody.
Yeah.
Like,
Still produces everybody.
I mean, produces everybody,
Yeah.
but it's literally the song Everybody by Broco.
Oh,
and
okay.
I
That makes more
feel
sense.
it in the air, Sam. It's coming.
Here's what I feel in the air, Margos. Coming up on the show today, Tyson Ritter exposes his dirty little secret. President exposes his face. And we review the new album from Turnstile, plus lots more.
Okay.
But before we get to all that, I was supposed to get my Nintendo Switch 2 today, and that
too.
piece of shit did not show up, bro.
Me too, bro.
Bro, I want federal charges on the UPS driver.
And I want federal charges on you. I blame you.
You blame me for what?
You're hitting the group chat. You're like, boys,
Yeah.
the Switch 2 is online, in stock at Verizon.
Yeah, I came through.
And
I
I'm
was
like,
a hero.
All right. That's not like the first place I would think to go and look and pre-order this or order it in general.
But it was there.
It was there, and I was able to order it. And I guess that's the case, but they're not sending it, Sam. Where is it?
Don't shoot the messenger, bro.
I think maybe a bullet or two.
I feel
I'm
like
not unloading the clip, but I'm aiming for the head, one bullet.
that UPS driver's got to know he's got switches in the back of that van, right? He's got to know.
What kind of switch?
I mean, I feel like before he leaves the warehouse that morning, like, his supervisor's got to pull him aside, and he's going to be like,
All of them are wearing
son,
bulletproof vests.
Son, there are Switch 2s in the back of that truck.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah, Dad.
He's like, yes, sir. It's like I want him delivering that Switch 2 to me, like Frodo delivering that ring to Mount Dew, right? Like, he's protecting it with his fucking life. It is paramount. That is his number one obligation, is to get me that Switch 2 the day that it came out.
Where?
Not
Delivering
the
it
day
where?
after it came at my house. Not the day Mount Doom.
It sounded like you said Mountain Dew.
No, Mountain
Like
Dew.
Mountain Dew?
Mountain Dew. Mount Doom.
All right.
Deliver it to me the day it's supposed to be here, bro. I feel like it feels like when you're 5 and everybody gets like a cool Christmas toy, but you got like pajamas. So it's like everybody's outside like shooting each other with Nerf guns, and you're just inside like looking out the window. Like, that's how it felt to log on the Twitter. You know what I mean? Everybody's like, fired up that new Switch, bro. This Mario Kart's crazy, bro. It got to be the best one of all time. I'm having so much fun. All my friends are just out of sight.
Now you complain. I hit the group chat talking about how it's wrong. We should riot. We should take to the streets. That a pre-order should guarantee that you get this device.
Yeah.
Any device, whether it's a fucking Nintendo Switch or a fucking album that you pre-ordered 3 months ago when they announced it.
Okay, yeah.
You should always get it early.
Yeah.
You should never be the last one.
Never
to get
late. On time at the worst.
And
never late.
You were like, bro, what is bro fucking yapping about in
I had
the
a lot
group
going on
chat?
today.
You
I had a
were,
lot going
you
on
were
today.
a dick.
I had to save my energy for the show. You understand? Marcus does this. Marcus has told a million incredible stories. You'll never hear any of them. They get told in the hour before this show starts. He saves nothing.
Shut
And
up.
then like at the top, we're like, Marcos, what the fuck is going on? And he's like, ah!
So I'm actually all fucking talked out.
Yeah, it seems that way. Every link you need can be found in the description of this episode, including our playlist updated weekly with every song you hear on the show and more, plus socials, merch store, Discord, and Patreon. Patreon.com/SOTS podcasts. All patrons receive access to our deluxe episode feed. This week's deluxe is all about Sleep Token. We talk about Doc Coyle's recent op-ed in Metal Hammer, Sleep Token's chart updates, and exactly how much merch is this band selling. Patreon tiers start as low as just $3 a month. Once again, link to that description of this episode.
Sleepyheads, give us money.
Sleepers. What do they call?
Sleepers.
What do they call those? The comatose. What? Who's the hardest sleeper?
Ooh,
Snorlax?
Tough question. He's a Mount Rushmore of sleepers. We got Vessel, we got Snorlax. Who rounds it out?
Where are my narcoleptics at?
Narcoleptics.
They be sleeping all the time.
Are those people who like fall asleep driving?
Yeah, they have a condition.
Oh.
Like Sleep Token fits. In the news this week.
The news.
A Day to Remember have announced the Maximum Fun Tour alongside Yellowcard and with support from State Champs, The Wonder Years, Boundaries, and Dinosaur Pile Up. That's happening this summer, Marcos. Let's start at the top. Co-headlining with Yellowcard? What did I miss?
It's not really summer. Like, we're going to start at the bottom. It's more of like a late
summer?
September, October, isn't it? A November.
There's no fucking
I
fucking
believe so.
no fucking way.
Yes, sir.
Let me get your vibe.
My vibe here, a co-headliner with
Yeah.
Yellowcard.
There's no way you're right about this. You've never been more wrong.
Sounds wrong. It doesn't sound like when you say that out loud, it doesn't sound right.
It literally starts at the beginning of September. It's still summertime. There are beach balls in the fucking promotional poster.
I remember seeing that and then checking the dates, and I was thinking to myself, it's a stretch, boys.
Maybe we have a fall date. Maybe we fell into the latter half. It's a summer-fall tour. A Day to Remember is playing the summer ones. Yellowcard is playing the fall ones.
Is this, I haven't had a chance to look. This feels like every single one of these bands is playing one of those Warped Festival dates.
You know, that's a really good thing to point out here, Marcos. I suppose I probably just should have put the fucking poster in this news update and made my life so much easier.
This feels ripe for like a Washington, D.C. or an Orlando.
You're going to love looking at this poster, bro. They got fucking shapes and colors for all of these announcements.
Both?
It's like State Champs is a green fucking explosion. They're playing the first half of this tour. The Wonder Years and Dinosaur Pile Up are a fucking cross.
Okay, all right.
Boundaries is playing literally one day to this show. I don't understand what the fuck is going on here.
Boundaries felt so crazy
no. They've paired it weird. It's like State Champs and Boundaries on this date. The Wonder Years and Boundaries on this date.
Oh,
the
not
Wonder
one
Years
of
and Dinosaur
those.
Pile Up on this date, bro. I'm fucking dying at these posters. What did you want to know? If they're playing Warped Tour?
Yeah.
No.
All right.
They're playing the Budweiser stage in Toronto, Ontario.
Let's go.
What if we just went through each of these venues? They're playing the Blossom Music Center.
You know where they're playing
Empower
for us?
FCU Amphitheater at Lakeview.
Bro, I don't want to go to Bridgeport, Connecticut to see this band play.
No, I'm with you. I want to go to Talking Stick Resort. Sounds nice. Where the fuck is that? Phoenix, Arizona? Yeah. Wait, you've heard of that venue?
Dog, we've been out there.
Have we? Have I been to that venue? For what?
Isn't Talking Stick like... Was that literally not like where the Phoenix Suns play, or am I crazy?
I thought the Phoenix Suns play at like fucking Capital One Arena or some shit like that.
Don't they all?
Did you even give me a fucking vibe check on it? Yellowcard's a co-headliner?
I don't like that.
Did they have a
that's
resurgence that
disrespectful.
I've been like completely fucking unaware of? They dropped one new song and they're already co-headlining with A Day to Remember?
This was like a weird legacy thing, and I don't respect it.
Dinosaur Pile Up, is that a legacy band too?
Not to me it isn't. I don't recognize this band at all.
No, that one's not ringing a bell. How'd you feel about the rest of the
No.
support? Stage Champs makes a lot of sense. You're having a summer tour.
I like that Boundaries is holding it down on the heavy side. Honestly, Sam,
I appreciate that as well.
we didn't super go into too much length about it, but when we caught Beartooth last year, Boundaries opened and kind of stole that show from me.
They really did stole that show. Yeah, I'm absolutely
Boundaries might
with
be
you.
one of the best bands I've ever seen live.
They were fucking insane. Absolutely, highly recommend. This is go for Boundaries. Stay for a day to remember.
Dinosaur
and Yellowcard.
Pile-Up.
Yeah. Marco Spite have completed recording their new album and welcome new drummer Travis Renier of Carcosa. The band's last album, Dedication to the Flesh, released back in 2022. Minimum. We're talking 3 years between albums, which actually isn't that crazy now that I think about it.
I feel like that's always been the Spite thing, or did they do like a quick 2 years back to back to back type thing?
I want to say they had 2020 and then 2022, and then this has been slightly longer. I think there's just been a lot of questions in the air when it comes to Spite because they had what's his face, Baby J, who went on to be in Chelsea Grin and Darko. So it seemed like
Darko, but
maybe things were a little tumultuous. Yeah, he was already in Darko.
Yeah.
Things were a little tumultuous with the lineup here, but they seem like they fell on their feet, and we've got a new album coming someday soon.
I mean, I remember
I'm thinking a single within a couple months.
I feel like this band had some decent tours in this previous era,
Sure.
Dedication to Flesh, but I also don't remember that album dropping and making as much noise as I would have liked it to have. That was a pretty great album.
Yeah, that was a solid album.
Obviously sad to see Baby J go. That said, I don't know if that's enough to really knock the band off track too long, but also 3 years is not this is a very normal timeline for most bands.
Let me say this. I think Darko is incredible. I don't hear a lot of Darko within Spite. You know what I mean? So I don't really know that Baby J
Sure.
was doing creatively what he's doing now in his solo project that he was doing in Spite. So yes, I think this band may remain consistent without him. I also remember Carcosa sounding pretty good.
Carcosa's a fun band.
Yeah.
I think ultimately where I land is 3 years removed from an album from Spite. I'm ready. I hope it's... I hope it is an impressive album in the sense of I don't necessarily need this band to go out and do something different, but I do need this to leave an impression on me.
Come out of the gate hot. And we
Right.
need to come out of the gate hot. We got to come out of the gate. We got a fucking full-fledged music video, reintroduction to the band, new lineup, all that shit. Go crazy. Beartooth are currently in the studio with Skylar Record of Issues. And 21
X
Pilots.
Issues, pretty much, but yeah.
Yeah. And X 21 Pilots, pretty much. But
21
still.
Pilots.
Funny enough, Skylar Record actually produced the new EP from Cherie Amour, which we'll be reviewing later on in this show.
I wanted to share that.
Oh, sorry. That was your bit?
That was my bit.
I stole your...
Yeah, well, now what do I have to add,
So
I think this is a cool pairing.
there-
This is an incredible pairing, to be honest.
There are a bunch of pictures of them, and it's I presume it to be Skylar Record's studio that they're recording in, but then it's also pictures of Skylar Record picking up the bass and playing it and shit, and I'm is he presumably writing and producing alongside Beartooth, but is he also playing with them in some capacity? It's very interesting. I don't know.
I don't know about playing, but it could be a writing thing.
Okay, at first I almost got the impression I was is Skylar in Beartooth? That was almost how they presented it in the images. It was
That would be fun.
it was Skylar in the studio sitting the bass, and then afterwards all the boys are out for tacos, and it's all right, so Skylar's just part of this band now. That's great to see.
I mean, listen, if you're the other guys in Beartooth, in that studio, you are staying out of the way of Caleb Shomo and Skylar Record at that point.
Caleb Shoma produced all the Beartooth albums prior to this, or did he work with somebody else?
I guess I don't have a strong enough knowledge base of that last record, but to my understanding, everything up to Disease and maybe below
Yeah?
was
Because I feel like somebody called
Shoma?
that out when I posted this, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. But there's got to be a Zach Cervini in there mixing that shit too.
I mean,
right?
in the studio with Skylar Record, it doesn't exactly say it's production, but this is collaboration to me. This is
Riptide was produced by Caleb Shoma.
Yeah, all right.
And fucking Might Love Myself was produced by Caleb Shoma. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say, yeah, Caleb Shoma will be producing this shit. So then is there an alternative where Caleb Shoma was in the studio still kind of producing this stuff, but now alongside Skylar Record? It's very curious that they would bring him into the fold, right?
No. I mean, not to spoil the...
Do they have a history that I'm unaware of?
No, I mean maybe a little bit. Like these are bands that have probably toured together in some capacity, or
Right,
been
at the
on
very least
festival
played a
dates
Warped
and that
Tour or
stuff.
something. Yeah, yeah.
But I think Skylar Accord right now is a very in demand.
He's hot.
At the very least, writer and collaborator and producer. I mean, hell, fucking 21 Pilots scooped this guy up, and
Okay.
I don't know what's going on there at the moment because he's not out with the band and they're actively touring. But at the very least, I think other people are aware of maybe what Skylar can bring to the project, and if Shomo just needs to bring him in to make a Riptide 2 sound even fucking crazier than the first, I think
a little
that's
bouncier, a little groovier.
I think it's worth it, right?
Okay. It's just like you kind of go back and you look at like, all right, well, obviously I know Skylar from what he did with Issues and now more recently the Cherie Amour album. How would that reflect upon a Beartooth song and or record? You know what I mean? Like, it's a very interesting choice to me.
I mean, it's
I would sooner think this
it's
band
the
would have
pop
been
angle,
like
right?
Jordan Fish. Let's go. You know what I mean?
Potentially.
Zach
I look at
Cervini,
it.
let's
I look at
go.
it from like a melody angle. It's how can you beef up those choruses to like the next level?
Okay.
And whether it's just like something you put behind the vocals or it's how things are produced, like I'm not sure, but like I
can't
really
wait for the
do
press
like
release where it's
this
like
pairing.
Skylar Accord took our new record to the next level.
He told us scrap this album.
Violent Nature by I Prevail, the band's first single since parting ways with vocalist Brian Burkheiser, debuts at number 13 on the Billboard Hot Hard Rock Songs chart.
Tough break, man. Unlucky number 13.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Unlucky.
Yeah, that's too bad.
I don't know. This is pretty crazy. I still look at this band and I'm like, man, Brian was your anchor, and they seem to clearly be doing fine just without him. I guess I'm all for it. Like I've got no ill will towards the rest of I Prevail, even though like Brian still hasn't commented on that situation, and not that that's super significant in the long run.
But it does sit in the back of your mind every time we talk about this band. Yeah. 13 is pretty hot out of the gate. It's
also
nowhere
really
near
like
this band's like highest charting song on there, but like
Yeah, that makes
it's
sense.
extremely heavy. So I think its performance this high on the chart is actually really impressive.
Well, what I also wanted to add is like this song is really fucking great.
It is.
I really do
track.
enjoy it.
Yeah, it is an absolute fucking certified banger. Ice Nine Kills have earned their first gold single with A Grave Mistake from their album The Silver Screen.
I don't know. I hear this. I hear you say this out loud,
Yeah.
and I'm like, this feels slightly delayed. And then I guess I forget that like this has probably been their most successful song to date.
Yeah, I think of all of their songs, this was the one that hung around the longest on like Octane charts. So it got regular play on that radio station. And then, you know, you take that and you extrapolate it out into getting added to playlists and stuff like that. It's the ballad, and no surprise that it tends to perform a little better than a lot of other songs.
I think this is a bigger deal than maybe we're
Giving it credit for?
Yeah, I don't know.
It feels like a very quiet success on Ice Nine Kills part, a band that we credit a lot who has become very successful, but this is, I think, the first time we're ever talking about this band in any capacity in terms of a gold single. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, and the reason I say it's like it's almost an undersell. It feels like we talk about a gold single nowadays, like every couple of weeks, which is really cool, right? Like our
Yeah.
scene is doing extremely well. It's very exciting.
Yeah.
But it's always like a song that came out 8, 9, 10 years ago.
Right. King for a Day went gold. Like, yeah,
Right.
duh, obviously.
And I
right.
guess this one's maybe what, 7 years old?
I'd probably go a little further. We're probably talking like 8 to 9 years at this point.
So I guess maybe it is in line with everything else, but I guess maybe A Grave Mistake still feels very new to me.
You think
too.
You think A Grave Mistake is a setlist staple? Like you think they're
Yeah,
hitting
for
the
sure.
Metallica crowd with that bad boy?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, that's doing numbers.
You think Ice Nine Kills looks at a Metallica crowd and they go, "We gotta play our softer stuff"? It's so funny to think about, right?
I don't think they are. They're
Because Metallica crowds, they gotta think they're bad, right? They gotta think like we're bad, like we're here for heavy fucking metal, like
Right,
let's
right,
go.
right,
But
right,
like Ice Nine Kills busts out Communion of the Curse, and that's like 6 to 12 dead bodies, right?
right.
That's just like what are those things they put in like your heart when you have like, you know what I mean? Like I'm just seeing that thing.
pacemaker?
Like, yeah, I'm just seeing pacemakers malfunctioning left and right. You know what I mean? Like they can't handle that shit.
Oh my god.
They're hearing A Grave Mistake and they're like, damn, still some real metal out there. It's great to hear, right? Right. But we're not busting out Welcome to Horrorwood, right? We ain't trying to get
See, I
anybody
don't know,
killed.
that's the heavy one.
I don't know. What's the heavy one to you then?
What's the heavy, like, what's
Art,
the,
you think they're playing Art
Take
the
Your
Cloud
Pick.
or whatever?
Take your pick.
Take your pick. You think they're playing the Corpse Grinder song?
I don't know.
Nah,
They're
bro.
playing a work of art,
Those
clearly.
crowds can't handle it. Those crowds can't handle it. What do you think the next gold single from Ice Nine Kills is? If you had to take a shot in the dark on this one,
Next gold
you had to take a
single
stab
from this
in the dark
band.
on this one.
It's not that one.
It's not.
I would love for it to be. I don't think it's that one. Would it? I mean,
I got one locked in.
educated guess would be that it would be another track from the first Silver Scream.
Wrong.
You think it would be a Silver Scream 2 track?
I'd go Hip to Be Scared.
I feel like that song hasn't performed as well as in my head it did.
No, that song is performed well, and I think that probably is also still a set staple.
Check Spotify. I feel like it's not.
You don't think
It's
up
not
there?
doing dummy numbers like you think it would be.
I think it's doing.
I feel like I checked this recently.
I think it's doing dummy numbers just like I think it would.
I don't think it's doing dummy numbers.
This feels like cheating,
Just
by the
like
way.
you
Why don't you
think.
give me a song before I start telling you what the real like big hits are on this list?
No,
For the record, Hip to Be Scared is top 5.
I get that. I'm just
Okay,
saying
it's
not like
performed extremely
to me,
well.
in my mind, Ice Nine Kills, it's probably at like 100 million streams is what it should be, but it's probably only at like 30.
They don't have a single song that tops 100 million streams. Just to put this into
That's
perspective for you,
crazy.
A Grave Mistake has 89.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
My guess, I guess officially
Come on,
is.
take a shot.
I guess it would be a work of art. Like I don't know.
You think
a
a work of art? I mean, a work of art has done 20 million since its release, so it's performed incredibly well. For the record, Hip to Be Scared has 53 million. It is their
That's doing better than I thought
third
of.
most
Okay, good,
popular
good.
song.
Good.
Stabbing in the Dark is right behind it with 50 mil for the.
Interesting.
Their next most streamed song behind A Grave Mistake is The American Nightmare, which is honestly not surprising because it's also like it's got the benefit of being the one that starts the album too.
Where's the Friday the 13th track?
What's it called? Like Friday We Fall Apart or something.
Thank God it's Friday.
Thank God it's Friday. It's not even in the top 10.
Tough.
Crazy, right? Moving on. Linkin Park
Oh.
official. Oh,
Not quite moving on. Band also this week. I think it's officially on streaming. Silver Scream Live 2 or something like that. Thanks Killing 2. Forget what it was called.
We Kill Live.
We Kill Live.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, that did just drop. So go check that out if you enjoy live music on tape. Linkin Park have officially released a Mike Shinoda designed deathcore logo as a T-shirt. He wore the design during the band's recent performance at the UEFA Champions League final, which was actually a really cool performance, if I'm being honest with you.
Debuting the deathcore logo at the league fucking finals, dog.
Mm-hmm. They said
Crazy.
Linkin Park is heavy now.
They really did.
They did a really cool thing during that performance where they did a transition of the Emptiness Machine into In the End, and I was like, man, I love how much respect this band gives the Emptiness Machine. They're like, that is our...
It's up there.
Yeah,
for
that
them.
is
They
our...
realize that.
Like, generationally, that is our new In the End, right? Like, In the End is our, like, classic, and then the Emptiness Machine is our new classic.
I think I'm still like caught up in the excitement of having Linkin Park back, and I know that like
we haven't even hit a year yet, which is crazy.
I know that the deluxe is technically coming or maybe just released, but like
it came out, yeah.
Man, I so badly am. I wish I could fast forward like a year, and this is hopeful, but like I just want to see what they do next already.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
Like what is the next lead single that this band holds in the same esteem as a track like The Emptiness Machine, right?
Right. Like when do we start getting like pictures from like them in the studio just wearing sweats and stuff, just like writing, right? And it's like that anticipation starts building again. And then we do like a brand new rollout for like a new album. What do they name it? Is it like a sequel? Do they go in like do they try different stuff? Like it's you're right. It's so exciting what this band could do next. It feels like they have such an just like open like opportunity to just sort of try and experiment a million different ways and do whatever they want, right? It almost feels like the stakes have been removed. Like they're back. It's like we're past all that drama.
All of that, yes, but it's also, I guess where I'm like,
What are you thinking about?
the thing that I'm really thinking about again is like the next lead single. Like what is the next Emptiness Machine In the End? Like that sort of track, right? Like I'm I'm like really excited.
So let's circle back to the
about that.
beginning. Is the deathcore logo telling of this band's direction moving forward?
Fucking imagine. One thing I do want to say here, and I guess I'm not fully on socials anymore, so I haven't really seen the reactions.
Yeah.
This looks like a really great designed logo. Like
Sick as hell.
it
Mike
is really
Shinoda
solid.
has an art degree.
He does.
Yeah, that's my understanding. Mike Shinoda has an art degree.
All right,
like
damn.
he didn't just like coincidentally stumble into a good design because he like just happened to be like on his game. That no. He's trained in the art.
Yeah, I just mean like sometimes you'll see someone be like, I took the photo for this album, and like you'll look at it and it's just like,
no. It turns out Mike Shinoda and
we're all gonna tell you it's good, but we all have different feelings.
In every way imaginable, Mike Shinoda is apparently the GOAT.
He, bro, really is though.
Just impressive.
Are we getting this?
Man,
This feels like a must cop.
I went back and forth a lot on it. It does feel like a must cop. Financially, I invested my money into a video game console recently, so I didn't have
That
a
you
lot
don't
of like,
own yet.
fuck around money, right? Yeah.
One thing I did want to tack on here, because I can't imagine it's in any other bit of this episode. I don't know if they came under flack recently or there were accusations of AI usage, but they posted like a really cool behind the scenes about how the album artwork was made.
I think they did.
And how it was all like real physical like pieces and not like even digital art in general.
I think you're right. I think they did get some bullshit about that being potentially AI created, and that does set the record straight on it.
And I actually like the album artwork now more than I did, because I didn't super love it. I like the color scheme, and I'm like, okay, this has its own feel, but it doesn't really, it's so like what I'm looking at doesn't make any sense to me, which is where I could see maybe some people seeing a fear of like AI being used here creatively. But I like it even more now seeing the behind the scenes, because it's like, okay, now I understand how this album art came to be. Like personally, I understand it. And I understand that I'm not just looking at like whatever, like some zoomed in part of a, like this band didn't know what they were doing and they just let like some random person, like it looks like there was a lot of like actual professional craft that went into making this album
put
art
into it, yeah.
which is like, it feels stupid to say now, but like,
but it's crazy that we do sort of need that level of validation every time any art comes out, which is like mostly digital and like potentially questionable.
Well, and again, like that's my favorite part here is that in knowing all of that, it always felt to me like maybe the laziest part of this whole era so far was that artwork. And seeing the behind the scenes makes me appreciate it way more, and I actually kind of dig it now.
Okay. I always like the album artwork. It's funny that you felt that
Again,
way.
like enjoyed the color scheme, just didn't super love like the rest. I like overall what it like felt like. I don't know if that makes sense.
We didn't touch on it, but have you completely in your social media retirement escaped all of the AI conversation around Ice Nine Kills?
Yes and no.
I'll give you the highlights real quick.
No, I think I'm in tune enough to know that either this band is trying to pull off the greatest like bait and switch ever.
Yeah.
Or it could be like the most thrown together last minute thing we've ever seen. But
funny enough, speaking of album art, this also came up, and we'll talk about them in the news, but we won't talk about this in any capacity. Hot Mulligan also posted a video that was like, hey, just FYI, our album art was not created with AI, after they were, last year bullied off of Twitter for making an AI joke post.
Oh my, I thought this was somehow in reference to like trying to get ahead of the Omerta accusations and
my God.
what Wind Waker went through.
What was Wind Waker's response to Omerta again? Cry about it or something like that?
Cry about it with like the final like in desktop version of the artwork that had like 85,000 different versions and layers.
Yeah, like all the layers
in
in Photoshop and shit like that. Yeah. Linkin Park said the same thing in their post on Instagram. And finally, Marcus, the Starting Line will independently release their first album in 18 fucking years later this September. It's titled Eternal Youth and follows up 2007's Direction.
I'm gonna be real, Sam.
Yeah.
I was thinking just the other day, the Starting Line are about due for a new record.
Yeah, no.
It's been long
You've been checking their
enough.
socials? Just like Don Broco?
It's been in the air.
Yeah. Guy who's been checking the Starting Line's MySpace page every day since 2007, waiting for an update.
It says the page no longer exists. That must mean something, right?
Right, exactly. There's movement here.
Right.
I was talking to a buddy of mine, and I sent him a clip of the new song they put out, which sounded decent. And he came back to
decent
me
after 17 years.
Man,
18?
I mean, this band is following up Island. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, that ain't easy shit.
All right.
Like, you had 18 years to write a follow-up to Island.
You know what
did
they say,
pretty
Sam,
good, but like...
You have your whole life to write your debut record, and then you have 18 years to follow up Island.
Right, that's precisely. Direction was not their debut record. So I messaged my buddy, and he's like, yeah, funny enough, I saw their lead singer open for the lead singer of Boys Like Girls on like an acoustic tour last year. And I'm like, oh.
He's doing his own thing
That's
too?
interesting. Yeah, part of me feels like that tour had like a few of these guys, but maybe I confused that with that tour that Hawthorne Heights did, which was like 20 Years of Tears, which like randomly had like I See Stars and like Cartel on it and shit.
Certainly did.
Anyways, what's your... You don't give a fuck about the Starting Line, do you?
I'm going to be real, bro.
Yeah.
I know like 3 songs.
Okay. Every week, we alongside our listeners will help shine some light on smaller bands within the scene. This week, in the spotlight...
The Spotlight.
Fran Evers over on Patreon recommends Julia Wolf's latest single, Kill You Off. The song sounds like scrolling a very chaotic TikTok For You page where you go from Midwest emo to 100 gex to Lorna Shore in 20 seconds. Marcos, you said you're familiar with Julia Wolf?
Obviously, Julia Wolf is in the spotlight this week, meaning
Yes.
we,
Thanks to
in no
Fran Evers over on
capacity,
Patreon.
have spoken about them on the show this year.
This year, certainly not.
They're also probably like my most listened to artists this
Shut the
year.
fuck up. They're your most listened to artist.
So-
Every week I text Marcos and I say, hey, be great if you had an artist for the spotlight this week.
Julia Wolf is like slightly bigger than I feel like we're giving them credit for here.
Yeah, I kind of got that impression too, but I'm like, you know what? It's an artist we don't cover, so I'm going to take this recommendation in the spirit within which it's been given.
Now, they're not massive, but they are like, Fran mentions TikTok and the For You page here.
Yeah.
You may know Julia Wolf from your literal TikTok For You page because they've had a couple of songs this year do really, really well as far as like being sounds that have created like whatever new meme formats and things like that.
Okay.
One of those tracks was In My Room, and I cannot get enough of that track. Julia Wolf has such a distinct and like, I think, fascinating voice, and the things that they are doing with that voice make it really easy to spend a lot of time with tracks like In My Room. They recently released another track called, I think, Megan's Body, which is like part of Julia Wolf's aesthetic, at least nowadays, is really leaning into like 2008 core, and like when Megan's Body came out. And is that the name of that movie?
Yeah, that's the name of that movie.
Just making sure. This video for Kill You Off is literally just Twilight. She's wearing a shirt that says Forks on it.
Yeah, that's correct.
Which is the city or the
She's in front of the
town.
red truck where Belle almost got killed. Yeah.
Like there's a lot of green in this video for sure.
So I listened to this based on this recommendation, of course, and I thought it was fucking absolutely phenomenal. Are we thinking Julia Wolf gets bumped up in the regular rotation?
I was going to say, this is probably the last possible week that they could have qualified for spotlight territory without them getting like just a little too big.
Got him in under the wire. Thank you, Fran Evers. You can follow Julia Wolf over at Julia Wolf NYC on Instagram. Sam Cohen over on Patreon recommends Bones Shredder newest track, Daylight. Might be more scene adjacent, but the song gives me creeper vibes. It's fun and spooky, and Randy Moore, which is the name of the titular Bone Shredder, has worked with Matt Skiba before, among many others. Marcus, we checked out the music video for this as well, which I thought in particularly was a lot of fun. I like their sense of humor. I enjoy their style of music.
Which Bones Shredder to me says like, that's a very like corpse grinder type name in my
You know who
mind.
I thought at first was Sherlock Bones?
Sherlock Bones?
Yeah, the character from the fucking Gloom in the Corner.
I do remember that now, yeah.
Yeah. They should fight.
They should fight.
And then kiss.
Bone Shredder is the kind of name where like, to me, I need like every song just to be like, this song should be called Daylight Shredder. Like you just add Shredder to the end of everything.
You're saying get really deep into whatever this lore
exactly.
is. Yeah. You can follow them at Bones_Shredder on Instagram. And finally, Rachel Harris over on Patreon suggests Sir Chloe and their new song, Forgiving.
Hand in my skin, jaws in a grin. Find the red and twist it. Turn me inside out, shake me up and down. Looking for loose change to take. There's no relief. That was the last of it, but only the beginning.
This song gives me a weird nostalgia for the late 2000s, early 2010s. I'm talking ancient Tumblr. Indie sleaze. A nice earworm that doesn't overstay its welcome. Heard this band open for Halsey on June 3rd, tour date in Mansfield, and I was hooked immediately. Marcus, did you vibe with Forgiving by Sir Chloe?
It's a solid little track. I'm
really-
vibing with it.
I'm really into indie sleaze as a descriptor for a music genre.
I think you're late to the game on indie sleaze. I've heard of that before.
I'm not late to it. I'm not saying this is the
You're
first time I've heard it. I
a little
actually
late.
explicitly in my long car drive a couple of weeks ago when we were driving down to North Carolina,
Okay. You told the wife, put on some of that indie sleaze.
I quite honestly requested the indie sleaze playlist.
You
Yes.
requested indie
Yeah, that's
sleaze?
exactly correct.
Christ.
And I can hear that vibe here in this
Uh-huh.
track from Sir Chloe. You can follow the band at Sir Chloe over on Instagram. Dated Discourse this week. Tyson Ritter shows you his dirty little secret. In an interview with Polymasia over at GQ, Tyson Ritter expands upon what he means by full frontal rock and roll. But first, a quick catch-up. The All-American Rejects have been on an incredibly successful and wildly viral run of house shows where fans have been requesting they come to play their town, and the band, in an effort to stick it to Ticketmaster and their outrageous fees, has been fulfilling fans' wishes, throwing quote-unquote ragers that have been ended with cops showing up to shut down the whole operation.
Imagine you're a cop, and
Yeah.
listen, it's fuck 12. We hate pigs on this show, but like, picture yourself a cop.
I'm picturing I'm a cop and you hate
get
me.
to the
Got it.
house party to shut it down,
Yeah.
and it's a band you know. You were just listening to them on the fucking radio, possibly.
You probably get a
Gives you
request
hell.
in before it's like, hey, I'm gonna have to shut down this whole operation real quick, but can I get move along? Swig.
Keep playing Move Along, and I won't shut it down.
Shows you his gun. This coincides with the band's rollout of new singles Sandbox and Easy Come, Easy Go, both of which feature silly antics and puppet-filled music videos, assuredly leading to the announcement of a new album.
What is your temperature on those two tracks?
I haven't listened to the second one, but I actually really enjoyed the first one, Sandbox.
Okay, but like
Easy Come,
really,
Easy Go dropped today. I haven't checked it out yet.
What's a really enjoyed the first one, All American Rejects 2025 new single? What does that really mean?
I actually think that American Rejects sort of had like a quiet, just deathly quiet comeback like 5 or 6 years ago. And I feel like I was the only one who was really vibing with that material, which is to say that I have been on board with the All American Rejects in their most recent releases.
Yes, like the EP that they dropped a while back at this point.
It was like really solid,
yeah.
right?
I think you posted like also like on Twitter like a 20-year anniversary celebration of like Move Along within the past year or something.
So
and like
quite
rewatching that
literally-
video like
Yeah.
changed my fucking life.
Dirty Little Secret turned 20 today.
Maybe it's that one. Yeah, I don't know.
Today, bro.
Today?
Today it
Damn.
turned 20, bro. Anniversary.
So more on Dirty Little Secrets.
I really enjoyed
Sam.
the music video for Sandbox 2. It's like I between that and like Dury put out a video with like puppets like a week ago too. Like I don't know. It's so funny to me when like two bands have like the same idea at like the exact same time, but it's kind of a fun one, so I'm into it. Tyson Ritter on why he created an OnlyFans. Quote, "Yeah, I'm starting an OnlyFans. And the All-American Rejects are behind me doing it. We've always been a band who's got a tongue bursting through the cheek when it comes to our music. So why not, do a little peen bursting through a zipper," end quote. He goes on. He continues.
Yeah, you can just leave it at
Oh, you
that.
want to stop there
I
and
think
move on?
That's
New
well
music
said.
this week.
Right.
Quote, "It's a platform that is offering an experience where the artist can set the price and it's artist to fans. There's no middleman. There's no subscription cost unless the artist chooses to do that. That seems like a good thing,"
Bro, sticking it
end quote.
so hard to Ticketmaster that you become a porn star.
Yeah. Hey. Fans were not shy with their commentary. "My wife of 2 weeks said via text message moments after I shared the story on Instagram, quote, 'Sign me up,' and quote, 'This is my hall pass.'"
Your wife.
Yes, my literal wife. Jacob Alexander over on Facebook said, "Guess we'll see if that secret is so little and dirty, won't we?" Richard Dobney said, "I suppose after all this time, it literally did swing. Hey. Dan said, "Laughing my ass off, boycotted Big Ticketmaster, but at what cost?"
All right.
Scar said, in all capitals, "I have videos of his feet and his long-ass toes. I was front row at the St. Louis concert last December." What were you doing with those videos before the news broke? What were you doing with those videos? Are you starting a secondary OnlyFans where you're dropping
media.
voyeur videos of your fucking Tyson Ritter's toes?
Voyeur.
Is that how that word is pronounced?
No, it ain't.
And finally, Jane Lynn said, "This is literally a recession indicator, but at least we'll get new music from it."
Facts. Listen, Tyson,
Yeah.
do whatever you want, gang.
Yeah, we empower you. Did you see any of the pictures?
They're up?
Yeah, well, yes. They were used as
he already started
promotional.
it?
Yeah.
All right.
It's live.
What do your wife think?
You can. We're not getting into that. Tyson also spoke a little bit about the band's boy band-like cover for their hit record "Move Along" in that same GQ interview. Quote, "The Move Along cover is probably one of the bigger regrets of our career
Boo! Fuck that. It's such a great cover.
because it told our audience we are a pop band now. A lot of our fans are like, that first record, man. Because our first record was this cool go-kart that was from my childhood pasture. And it expressed something about where we were as a band, where we came from, Oklahoma, in a dirt road, go-kart kind of thing. I can't look at that Move Along record cover in anger. That, to me, is like a tattoo you wish you could remove. But also, she's been there the whole time that you're like, well, I made that choice."
Yeah, I think it's a fun cover.
This OnlyFans page is currently free to join, and while some images are scandalous in nature, it does not currently contain any
Bro.
nudity.
Commit yourself to the bit,
Commit
brother.
to the bit. Literally burst that fucking pee. New
Pull
music
it out,
this week.
brother.
President has released brand new single "Fearless." It is the second new song from the mysterious new act, following up debut "In the Name of the Father," which has already amassed over 1 million views on YouTube since its release earlier this May. Marcos, thoughts on the second new single from President?
Similar experience listening to this one for the first couple of times that I did in the Name of the Father, which is that it didn't initially click.
Yeah.
And then when it clicked, Sam, it was like that scene from Ratatouille of Remy and his brother eating cheese and grapes.
Right.
And the fireworks going off in the
Sure.
background. And it's like,
Yeah.
man,
You're putting this on the
Maybe I'm
level
an
of
easy
French
mark.
cheese?
I might be an easy mark, but I really am starting to
Easy
enjoy
Marcos.
myself some President.
You know, I'm a little cooler on this one. I actually, out of the gate, was like, yeah, in the name of the Father, like, I vibe with this. Like, this is right up my alley.
I've been obsessed with that one over the past
This shit
week.
is my speed. That's good to hear because I feel like you seemed a little more lukewarm on it, so I'm glad you came around. I apparently am now sitting on the opposite side of this conversation, feeling that Fearless feels a bit lackluster by comparison.
It's I think it's
The
to
vocal
me-
production hurts me a little bit on this one. I just think it's a bit much. Like, it's a little heavy-handed.
Okay.
I needed the producer to like turn the dial down just a little bit on the fucking vocalizing.
I can understand and appreciate that. I think where I land a little bit more is I think it's a little too much at once as far as I needed this to be a little bit more secretive, and I'm not referring to where this band literally unmasks themselves.
Right, so
at
there
the
is a music
end.
video with this as well. It's very similar in nature to the first music video, right?
It is, but it's
Less smoking.
I don't know, it's just a little less mysterious, and I don't know if it's because suddenly we're aware of President. and
Okay,
it's
so
not
the
like a
video
brand new
ends
thing.
and President removes their mask. And it's Ollie Sykes. And, like, who saw that shit coming, right? How can this guy have two
Yes.
big bands? It's unprecedented, but we're here for it.
I think it would have been exciting if they did just randomly reveal like some celebrity.
Ooh, a fun bit would have been they do like a bunch of different clips where like they remove the mask and it's like a different singer each time. You know, kind of like I'm Pres. You know, like when everybody was doing that, like I'm Vessel.
Yeah. The worst version of this is when
The worst version of this is always whatever we come up with, but yeah.
what I was gonna say is like
We will-
every other band would
Yeah.
have been like, here's just a fan of the band. Everyone who listens to this band could be this, and I just
I would have hated that shit.
like immediately imagine it being like, oh, I could be an 18-year-old or a 38-year-old, and
It's like the end of The Last Jedi where everybody's a fucking Force user.
Yeah.
Like, no, there could only be one president, and it's actually probably not the guy at the end of this video.
It could be the guy's
I think this
brother,
is
is
a,
what we've been told. I don't know.
This is like they're sending us off in like a wild goose chase. This is a trick. I'm not falling for it.
I guess I ultimately don't know like the exact maybe rationale or reasoning of any type of reveal here, but my immediate reaction to that is cut that shit off. I just am immediately starting to realize like, no, I just like to not know who any of these people are anymore.
It's crazy, Marcus, because you have quite honestly the polar opposite reaction to the vast majority of comments I received on Twitter, where people were furious still that a second band is doing the mysterious
Oh, God.
band member quote unquote gimmick. Furious.
I don't know. I've changed.
I'm with you.
A lot of my takes are different now than they were like even a year ago when or a little over a year ago at this point when the other members of Sleep Token, 2, 3, 4 all suddenly had new masks and were a little bit more distinctive. I remember being like appalled by that because I'm like, this band is fucking Vessel and it should only be the white mask and that's the only thing that matters. And now I see that and my reaction to seeing the other masked members and President is that I want them to be a little bit more distinctive. I look at the other members of Ghost and I'm like, I need them to be a little bit more
They're a
distinctive.
little too
But the-
NPC for you right now.
Yeah, but the one thing that doesn't change is like, I don't know. I find myself continue to be like enamored with the secrecy of an act. Like just in general, that one layer immediately like kind of speaks to me.
It makes it more fun. This band will play their first live performance this coming weekend at Download Festival in the UK, Marcos, presumably premiering 3 to 4 additional new songs.
Sorry, this coming week. This is Download is
Okay, so we're dropping
This
hold
weekend?
on. We're dropping this on Monday for the listener.
Shut up.
So
okay.
this coming weekend that
Okay.
you're listening to this, I'm not as in the weekend that we're
Sure,
recording.
right?
it.
Yeah.
Rock AM Ring is actually happening this weekend.
We don't give a shit about
Sleep
Rock Am
Token
Ring.
plays that.
We give a slight shit
We
about
give a
Rock
small
Am.
Knocked Loose and Bring Me played it today. Like, come on. Or Bring Me plays it tomorrow. Fucking whatever. No, Bring Me Play It today. President currently hold over 700,000 monthly listeners on Spotify. Hot Mulligan have released new single and a big load. New album, The Sound a Body Makes When It's Still, hits August 22nd via Wax Bodega.
They've released a new single and a big load, Sam.
Yeah, that's precisely correct. Yeah, a big load of news. Marcus, what do you think of this track and the fucking lively, fun, and inspired music video that accompanied it?
Hot Mulligan are back, and I'm excited. This is a warm welcome, a return that I was eager to see after the whole weird, stupid AI debacle last year with all of the Twitter stuff and those reactions. And
You're
Hot
saying
Mulligan
they
are back
shut
to
up
doing.
the naysayers.
They shut them up, and they're back to doing exactly what we need Hot Mulligan to do, which is putting out great songs and new albums.
I'm right there with you, Marcos, but I feel like you have not spoken enough good things about not only how much fucking fun this song is, but the music video in particular, which has the band doing an incredibly late 90s throwback, maybe in the vein of like Sum 41 and Blink-182, and even a little bit of like Limp Bizkit or Korn in there as well.
Skating in empty pools. We're performing on the edges of empty pools.
We're naked.
Are llamas. We are performing naked.
We're
We
hard
are
posing with pit
jumping
bulls.
naked. We are hard posing naked with pit bulls.
We're in the what's the low rider?
We're in the lowrider going up and down, banging our heads, dude.
Like we cannot do justice to how fucking great this music video is. Like they really knocked it out of the park.
Well, that too, and they really captured that era, right? Also, they really nailed like the looks in general, like each of the members.
Chris Freeman, who is the co-vocalist guitarist, is like, it's almost like somebody pulled him from the past
Plucked
into
out
the
of the
future.
past.
Yeah,
Exactly.
He just like lives and breathes that era so perfectly. Marcos, I would go so far as to say this video and song are so good. We got to issue like a heat advisory warning. Like this Hot Mulligan is
heat advisory
dangerous.
warning.
This is a heat advisory
You're
warning on
saying-
this Mulligan. It ain't just hot anymore.
Bro, you're saying this ain't just Hot Mulligan, it's hot
We're
Mulligan.
talking stay in AC, check on your grandparents. Like, we ain't fucking around with this heat anymore.
This is hot enough to kill the elderly,
This
Sam,
is hot enough
what
to
we're
kill the
saying.
elderly, Marcos. Song
Which could
titles-
be a song title off of this album track listing.
Speaking of, song titles on this album include Monica Lewinsky, My Dad Told Me to Write a Nice One for Nana, So This Is It, and Cream of Wheat featuring Na Cream of. Featuring?
I just know that my dad told me to write a nice one for Nana, so this is it. It's going to be the most heartbreaking song I've heard in my fucking
You know,
life.
no. If this band does it right, Monica Lewinsky is the saddest song you've ever heard in your life, and A Nice One for Nana is a twist.
It's a twist. Okay.
Guitarist vocalist Chris Freeman on the new single via Brooklyn Vegan, and I quote, "It's the consequences of your own actions. You could face them. You could avoid them entirely. Our biggest conflicts and struggles are often self-inflicted. Drink too much? Hangover. What did you say last night? Apologize. Or don't. You could commit suicide instead. You could commit to being sober. You could commit to drinking 1 million beers. At the end of the day, it'll all be left for you to deal with. It's terrifying." Crazy statement.
Yeah, fair enough.
The band will perform at Bonnaroo this coming weekend. That would be not the weekend that we're recording, but the following weekend, which is to say that Bonnaroo and Download are happening on the same weekend. Alongside Bill Murray, Role Model, Avril Lavigne, Vampire Weekend, and many more.
Role model.
Hot Mulligan currently stand at over 940,000 monthly listeners on Spotify.
Damn, okay.
They'll be popping right over 1 million in no time. Dreamwake have dropped new single Afterglow. New album, The Lost Years, arrives August 8th via UNFD. Marcos, you and I actually caught and spoke of their live performance just recently when they opened last minute for Imminence on the Return of the Black tour.
Yeah, Landmarks had some visa issues. This band is local, so they came in and opened up the entire night, and they did a really great job.
They did a fucking fantastic job, Marcos. They had a Nintendo 64 that was playable at their merch booth, and they've doubled down with a Nintendo 64 being played in the very music video for Afterglow by our titular emo girl who's just kind of enjoying her day while this band plays music around her house.
Yeah, this is
Or motel. I wasn't entirely sure.
this is a very well filmed version of like just nostalgia.
Yeah.
They do a great job of like really
Cut to a
capturing
Game Boy
like,
Color. NSYNC poster on the wall. Like all
yeah,
that
but
type shit.
it's all very and almost humorously at times. Like it's captured so beautifully. Like it's captured in like just these golden rays of sunshine peeking in through your windows.
A golden ray of sunshine was the second that saxophone came into the fucking frame.
100%. And that's, if you're unfamiliar with Dreamwake, like really the hook, line, sinker for this act is that's their secret weapon. They have a saxophone player.
Right, like what if a metalcore band had
And
a
they-
saxophone player?
It goes crazy.
It goes insane. It's like a game changer.
Yeah, it's what if Saxel Rose was just in your band? You
Yeah,
know?
that's precisely correct. They absolutely kill it. They were like, the sax player in particular live was absolutely fucking phenomenal as well. Really enjoyed this video. Really excited for this album. The band shared the following on the new song. Quote, Afterglow is about the ache of losing someone to their inner battles and the desperate hope to bring them back before they fade completely. It's a plea for connection in the face of emotional distance. A fight against fading into silence, end quote. I didn't see any of that in this music video, Marcus. What do you think she was playing on that N64?
Pokemon Stadium for sure.
Fuck, that's like you took mine. Now I gotta come up with like a different N64
Bomberman?
game. I'm gonna go with like she had like a tinge of sadness to her. I'm gonna say like Majora's Mask, right? I feel like
So
Majora's
that moon was
Mask
coming down in that moment.
yeah, that's what that like. I feel like Majora's Mask would speak to the what we read here in the press release about what the song's about.
Okay.
The band will support 1,000 Below on their North American headlining tour later this August alongside Aviana and True North. This is a really hot tour because 1,000 Below just announced their album. True North just put out a new album, and Aviana now have to put out new music and announce a new album alongside of all of them to coincide with the fact that Dreamwake also have a new album coming out.
Aviana's also doing like some mass stuff live, or am I thinking of a different band?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know. I remember, was Aviana the band that put out an album last year that was called like Corporation or something like that?
It wasn't last year, but I think it was like 2 years ago. I think so.
Okay. We'll circle back on that one when Aviana comes up in the news again. Dreamwake currently set at over 70,000 monthly listeners on Spotify. Creeper have released new single Headstones. New album Sanguivore 2, Mistress of Death, drops this Halloween via Spine Farm. Now, wait, pause. Can we just, before we say anything, finally somebody fucking understands, like, game, right?
Yeah.
Like, they get it. They, like, you're the horror band. You drop your new album on Halloween. I swear to God, Sanguivore, the first one, also came out, like, right around Halloween as well. If
Right
not on
around
the
then.
date.
Okay, you were underselling this initially, so I'm glad you added in those couple of things. Sam, Creeper are fucking back, and they decided to release Sanguivore 2.
So this band was talking about this a little bit in an interview that they did with Kerrang, and they were like, everyone is used to us doing this thing where it's like, okay, our album cycle is done. We do a whole new era with a whole new sound. And they're like, what's the most unexpected thing we could do? And it's like, okay, we'll release a sequel to the last album. And I'm like, that is so fun.
So unexpected, and it's like the perfect one they could have chosen to, and it's
Agreed.
It's still not quite my favorite style of this band, but like they sell you so hard on it that
They
it's
won
hard
me
not to
over
like,
for a style of music that I'm generally not that in tune
which
with.
is essentially just like 80s hair metal, like just with an extreme hint of goth and that type of like lyricism and things like that.
Right. It's like, what if The Cure played Motorhead covers or something?
Right,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
Yeah. So
And-
for the record, though, like they won us over so hard that I'm pretty sure Sanguivore was in our top 20 albums of that year.
That was an excellent album.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that like they're also not afraid to be like a little silly with it again this time around, like calling it Sanguivore 2, and like they released like some graphical things, like a little teaser with the album announcement on it, and it's like the 2 is literal wooden stakes.
Love it.
And they pop on the screen at the same time, and then Mistress of Death is like, it's almost backed by like this blood curdling scream.
They dodged a bullet not wearing masks too, so everyone would have been fucking angry at them over it.
I don't remember if all of them were wearing the face mask like stuff.
Oh, you mean like face paint? They were wearing face paint
stuff.
Yeah.
Last album cycle, but all of them like show it off so well this album
like they
cycle.
doubled down on it. So this kind of plays in a little bit with like the theme behind this record. So vocalist William Van Gould on the new album via Kerrang, quote, "It follows a vampire rock band on a tour soaked in violence and excess. It sets the stage for what's to come in the album's narrative, exploring the dark perils of rock and roll, sins of the flesh, and pure evil. This music video ostensibly is showing like quite literally the titular band of this storyline performing what would be like a theoretical live show, right?
love
So it's
it.
all like steeped in lore on lore on lore.
Lore on lore on lore.
This band will support Ice Nine Kills in the UK later this December. Creeper currently claim over 115,000 monthly listeners on Spotify.
On tour with Ice Nine Kills is exactly where this band should be.
Just like on tour with Black Veil Brides was exactly where they should have
I
been
was
when
gonna
we
say
caught them. Yeah.
collecting the Trinity of Terror Infinity Stones
Yeah,
right now.
and Motionless in White. Yeah.
Chris Motionless, this is a message directly to you.
Yeah.
Let's book Creeper on whatever the next headline tour is for the States, okay? We don't care about the UK or Europe around here.
And I feel like while we have Chris Motionless's attention, drop a new song and announce an album.
Sure.
Pool Kids have released a new single, Easier Said Than Done.
Tell me next time is the right time, baby. Don't tell me next time is the right time. Hear me now. Tell me next time is the right time, baby. Don't tell me next time is the right time. Hear me now.
New album of the same name is out August 15th via Epitaph Records, new home to the band. Marcus, what'd you think of the music video and track from Pool Kids?
I feel like we haven't discussed the quantity of discussion around Pool Kids on this show has been low in comparison to how much I have fucking adored that record of theirs.
Oh my God. It doesn't immediately jump to my mind, but obviously it is the record that contains the hit single, That's Physics, Baby. Mm-hmm. Which,
and that awesome music video.
incredible fucking music video.
This video is a little less fun.
Yeah, this music video, it doesn't have that same level of comedy that I came to appreciate from Pool Kids, unfortunately. I think it's well filmed. I think it's well lit. I like some of the stuff that they're doing with the black and white sort of transitioning into color, but it's not funny. Is that a grade against the band?
But sonically, the
Sort
vibe
of.
is still there.
Yeah, sonically, the vibe is still there.
And that vibe in reference is like, as far as like this band, they're excellent. I really still adore them. Really excited about a new record. Excited that they've found a home on Epitaph Records, because that's like the final stamp of approval I need ever, is like just Epitaph signing off on somebody. Like their roster is so fucking perfect.
Yeah, and they feel picky, right?
Yeah.
Like they choose very good artists. They don't just pick up a bunch of
Fucking
them.
Magnolia Park's on Epitaph.
Right. We just talked about Gucci High Waters, who released their new album last week. A little context for the recording process of this new record via Northern Transmissions, quote, "The band funded the studio sessions with money they'd saved from years of steady touring, eager to explore the freedom that comes with making a record independently. They spent 5 weeks together in the summer of 2024, staying with friends at motels and in the studio itself to save money. They recorded late into the night, driving to the edge of the city to shower at a Planet Fitness once they'd wrapped for the day," end quote. I really love this sort of backstory, because essentially what it tells you is that Pool Kids were no longer on a label, went out there, self-funded, recorded their own record, put all of their money into it, and then shopped that record around, and Epitaph was like, yeah, give me that shit.
Literally putting money where your mouth is.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I wanted to add here around this quote was
Is it the Planet Fitness bit?
it's so dramatic. It's like drove to
Edge.
the edge of the city.
Right. The one Planet Fitness. It's like 6 of the letters are no longer
Right.
glowing anymore. You know what I mean?
The size of this city, 60 miles wide.
There's nobody goes to this Planet Fitness. Like, it's just literally the guy who
Right.
sits at the front. He doesn't even look up when you walk in the door. You know, he's not even checking to make sure you're actually a member.
Bro, what city was this? Bro, there's 3 Planet Fitnesses in every single city,
Right,
and
that's
they're
a
all
good question.
5 minutes away.
If this was a murder mystery, this would not narrow it down enough for us. The band will head out on a North American headlining tour starting this September with support from Truth Club and Pony. Pool Kids have amassed over 50,000 monthly listeners on Spotify. Expect that number to jump up dramatically. And finally, Still in Love have released new single Nervous Impulse.
Sick and rust.
Their debut album, Recovery Language, is out September 5th via Church Road Records. And I know you're probably asking yourself, who is Still in Love? You guys have never talked about this band on the show before. Well, let me fill you in a little bit. The band consists of members from Dead Swans, Throats, Brutality Will Prevail, Last Witness, and maybe most adjacent to this podcast, Bring Me the Horizon guitarist Curtis Ward.
Hasn't been in the band for about 16 years now. Did join them on stage in like 2019.
Yeah, but we're talking about degrees of correlation
Yes,
to our coverage.
I'm just talking about the last time we may have spoken about Curtis Ward.
Yeah.
Which was before this show.
I talk about
existed.
Curtis. I don't know about you, but I
You
talk
talking
about
about
Curtis
Curtis
Ward all
every
the
day?
time. I was like, man, Bring Me the Horizon. We're so much better when Curtis Ward was in that fucking band. I'll tell you that.
People say that.
People do
often.
be saying that every time I post any song by Bring Me the Horizon.
This band, however, that does still have Curtis Ward in it.
Yeah.
Sound pretty fucking good.
They sound extremely fucking good. So this is like a super short song, right? Like it's under 2 minutes. It's like, bro, it's a hardcore song, right? We're not going over 2 minutes.
Bro,
You'd have to kill us to record a
Bro's
song that's longer
describing
than
an
2
I
minutes.
Prevail song in 2025.
We're not Turnstile. We're not making like a 12-minute song, okay? And the last like 20 seconds of this just goes fucking absolutely crazy. At one point, the vocalist is screaming into the mic and is like, his fucking like hand is shaking. Like he's so fucking into it. It's like, it goes so hard. The breakdown is absolutely fucking massive. Great new band. Absolutely love discovering them. A little bit more about the album. It will include a feature from Architects vocalist Sam Carter on the track Preserve and Cherish.
That's my shit, bro. I needed you to say that out loud, and I'm already picturing how great it's going to be.
Curtis Ward's still in Bring Me the Horizon when they drop Suicide Season with a Sam Carter feature?
Yeah,
They're running it back.
I think so. Yeah.
Boys are running it back. The band will support Rollo Tomasi during their special 20th anniversary show this August in Brighton alongside Boneflower. Marcus, I know you're asking me, who is Boneflower? I'm not familiar with them, but on the basis of Rollo Tomasi and Still in Love, I immediately followed them on Spotify so that whatever their next single is, I'm on top of it.
Extension of this, Sam, the only related part to this whole story that I had
Yeah.
seen prior was Rollo Tomasi's back. They announced this show, and I see these 2 support acts, and I'm like, who the fuck are they?
Oh, you're
but,
right.
But, well, it was that, and it was like, but I think they're probably solid on the merit that, like, they're touring with this artist.
and you've been validated so
Right.
quickly.
so quickly.
Still in Love currently hold approximately 5K monthly listeners on
Who knows if it will ever
Spotify.
jump?
The Breakdown.
You want to review some albums?
Yeah, we're going to
Let's
kick off
Fucking do it.
with Never Enough by Turnstile.
Standing in a line to disappear. So fair, unfair.
The band out of Baltimore, Maryland. It's out now, June 6th on Roadrunner Records, and it is their 4th album. Never Enough is accompanied as well, Sam, by a visual album which premiered at the 2025 Tribeca Film Festival and in theaters on June 5th, which you don't see often.
No.
That's a Thursday.
I do love this idea, though, that like Turnstile's brand new visual movie, Never Enough, is going head to head with Lilo and Stitch. It's like you got two options.
It's its second week, isn't it?
You got two. It's like its third week, but yeah.
Never Enough is the follow-up to 2021's Glow On, and it was fully produced by the band's vocalist Brandon Yates, who also directed the Never Enough
was that true? I didn't know that.
I actually had it written down over here. So it was directed by the band's Brendan Yates and Pat McRory,
who have been directing the band's music video, so I guess this checks out.
The film features all 14 songs from the forthcoming album. It's out now again. The film release follows its world premiere as an official selection of the Tribeca Film Festival, like we talked about earlier.
Is it entirely possible this will be the only band in like the rock, punk, metal, hardcore scene to ever be nominated for both a Grammy and an Oscar in the same year?
Not if Creeper might have anything up their sleeves.
Okay, all right. So it's gonna be them, and like
they might actually be filming the
Creeper's
movie.
like hot on their tail.
Well, last couple of notes here. So it's the first album to feature guitarist Meg Mills, following founding member Brady Ebert's 2022 departure. As well as all of that information, the band command a massive 2.6 million monthly listeners on Spotify to date.
It's impressive. Marcos, as always, you and I will share our thoughts on the record before giving a letter grade. Would you like to go first, or should I?
You can go first.
Okay, thank you. Bizarre, fantastical, experimental, and as expected, all at once, Turnstile have doubled down on their eclectic combination of shoegaze and hardcore, crafting another fine concoction of gorgeous, otherworldly instrumentals for you to swoon alongside, swing punches, or both at once, all depending on the flavor of the track. It's incredibly well-balanced record, alternating between the more low-key tracks to the up-tempo ones, which is something they showcased elegantly with the double single release of Seeing Stars and Birds. One of the most engaging aspects of Turnstile for me is how uplifting their style can feel personally, with songs like I Care speaking directly to the soul, encompassed in equal parts by the vocal delivery and the underlying instrumental. I think what's also fascinating about this band is how titles of their songs are often so adept at capturing the sensation of those tracks. So when I see a title track like Seeing Stars, Magic Man, Sun Shower, it's kind of crazy that they feel as if they adequately portray the feeling of the song itself.
I might have something slightly related to that in my main takeaway.
Okay, good. So we'll circle back to it. Turnstile continue to flaunt that bouncy instrumental that hooked me so deeply with the previous release Glow On, maybe best displayed by the track Dull. Little touches go a long way on this record, like that little like ending best shown in the latter third of Look Out For Me, which just sort of feels like a coordinated vibe sesh. Absolutely love that shit. Turnstile are simply a joy to listen to, pulling you along for each and every moment and letting your mind and body drift happily alongside them. This was a solid A- for me.
Love all that.
My
And
singular criticism is that I think if I were being truthful, I still feel that I prefer Glow On to this new record.
I won't show my cards just yet, but interesting. I guess my main takeaway is that Turnstile and On Never Enough, they just feel like what I want the soundtrack to my life to sound like, if that makes sense. It's more when I picture good things happening to me, or like the feeling of good things, I want Turnstile to be the soundtrack to that. Like if I find a nice seashell when I'm walking on the beach, I want it to be while I'm listening to Turnstile. If I find $20 in my pocket in just a random pair of pants that I had like stored away somewhere, like they were in the back of my closet, a jacket, whatever, it feels like it's Turnstile who should be soundtracking that moment.
Feel good
life.
vibes.
Yeah. Like to the point where it's like, bro, just like you get good news. That's what it's like listening to Turnstile to me. And I get that more than anything on Never Enough, which I think is actually, it's true to how it was sold, in that it at times feels so theatrical that I almost feel saddened that I was not able to experience this album for the first time, paired alongside its theatrical never enough movie that this band released.
Right. Of course, you and I were invited to Tribeca Film Festival, but it clashed with our recording of this show, so we were unable to attend.
Busy, had something going on. And I have like just skimming a couple of like reaction threads like over on Reddit, across some Discord. I saw that like other people were able to experience this album for the first time watching the movie alongside it, and they said that they were grateful for that experience because they would have in my, like I was saying earlier, like they would have felt saddened if it was the opposite. So I'm so looking forward to checking that out whenever that opportunity may come. I don't know if it'll be out on streaming eventually, if they'll just upload it to YouTube, whatever.
I absolutely think it'll make an appearance somewhere where it'll be accessible to us outside
I
of the
hope so.
film
I hope
festival
so.
circuit. Yeah.
So I'll keep my thoughts mostly short because you've hit the nail on the head so much here. Just around like the general vibes of the record, the experience, a couple of just bullets that I really wanted to emphasize as far as like enjoyment of this record for me. Just the way that Brandon's vocals are produced, and it's by Brandon, so it's like it's the person who knows his voice best.
Sure.
And just all of the effects and the like the reverb, the echo, whatever is like thrown on there, all that dressing makes for such a fascinating like experience listening to a voice. Like I don't hear voices in that way so frequently. Does that make sense? Like I don't hear voices produced like that.
I think a lot of it has to do for me personally is how sort of eclectic his delivery can be based on like whatever the individual song calls for. So he has like such a fascinating range.
Totally. I think I've said in the past that someone not named Turnstile was the best hardcore band out there. That's a blatant fucking misunderstanding.
I believe you said it was Asking Alexandria. If I
said
remember
it was
correctly.
Speed, and with all respect to Speed, definitely not the best hardcore band when Turnstile are still out there putting records like this one out that are so
Not to
great.
pit two baddies
Not to
against
pit
each other.
Two bad bitches against each other. And I guess the final bullet for me is that this is it's not a significant improvement, but it's a small improvement over Glow On, and it ends up being a record I appreciate more than that one.
Wow. Okay.
This is an easy A+ for me. This is so far up in AOTY fucking that hemisphere that it's like we're going to be talking about this one at the end of the year. I know it.
Wow, that's a hot score. The only two things I wanted to sort of touch on before we move forward is, did you see any of the video footage coming out from this band performing under the K Bridge in Brooklyn? Fucking Haley Williams jumping on stage with them?
I did not watch any of it, but it is hard to not learn that Haley Williams did indeed perform alongside this band.
I just feel like every time something like this happens and I'm not there to experience it, I'm jealous of everyone else who's living a better life than I am.
But it's not because you didn't go, is what I want you to understand, Sam.
Had I gone, Haley Williams wouldn't have made it.
She wouldn't have been there.
Okay,
she wouldn't have fucking been there.
You're saying I'm cursed.
We never go to where
cursed.
cool things happen. Like it's because if we show up, it's just the universe erasing that from the timeline.
Sure, that's fair. The other thing I wanted to mention is that when you were talking about this being the soundtrack to your life, I don't know why, but the first thing I thought of was that TikTok where
The Taco Bell commercial.
no, that kid he leaves his house and like jumps on a skateboard and then goes to like a Waffle House and eats like a stack of waffles
What
and
is
then like
this?
gets back on his skateboard and it's just like it's literally just like a dude vibing all day, almost in like a Jesse Pinkman type beat.
Yes.
You know exactly what I'm
Yeah, I
talking
think I know.
about?
I think I
Yeah.
know.
That's how I pictured you sort of living your life with Turnstile. Like you're just having a great day, but your great day is like getting an Arizona
But it's-
iced tea at the gas station.
To like really like, but it's like to really like drive
Yeah.
this point home. It's
Yeah,
like
drive it.
if I weren't listening to this album, good things also wouldn't be happening to me.
Okay, no, I understand.
Like
that.
people would be running me over with their cars. I would be getting broken legs. You know, like but on when I you know, and I have like an iPod Nano in all of these scenarios. Like I put those fucking skull candies in my ear.
Yeah.
This is playing over the fucking like over the radio waves, and I'm like, yo, this is life changing.
Neon magenta? What color iPod Nano are we talking right now?
If I'm not listening to Turnstile and I get Taco Bell, I get food poisoning. If I'm listening to Turnstile and I get Taco Bell, it's like 3-star Michelin meal.
All right, I'm with you. Moving on, Marcos, we also reviewed the brand new album from Cherie Amour, Chrome Hearts.
Wait a minute, pipe down. I need to come up, I'ma get it right now. I wanna see what it feels like now. I want my dreams in my real life now. Say I'm tripping like DMT, not with the drama, no TMZ. You don't even know what you mean to me, and I still can't see what you see in me. Eons, you make the minutes feel like eons, like eons.
Band is also from Baltimore, Maryland. So Maryland really...
Sun in the water over there.
It's their day. It's their day. This is the band's first independent release. They shared on Twitter that this is fully DIY. It is fully self-funded. They were previously on Equal Vision Records for anyone who needed a refresher. It released today as well, so 6th of June, 2025. It is their second album. It's only 7 tracks, but the band is selling it as an album. Like, they are vocally going out there and saying this is an album, a record. So with that in mind, it's the follow-up to 2022's debut LP, Spiritual Ascension, which we were massive fans of here at SOTS.
I think it's a track like Orlando is still fucking
No,
like...
that's the debut.
Fuck.
That's the debut, baby.
Wait, is that not what we're talking about? Debut LP, Spiritual Ascension?
That was the debut EP
Oh, fuck.
on Equal, which wasn't independent, of course.
All right, well, why didn't you also mention that? Forget
It's
it.
been like, God,
Whatever.
close to 6 years, I think.
Well, I still love that song.
I think Orlando was the song we discovered this band off of. And yeah, I really love that one. Spiritual Ascension had a lot of, it's an album I don't remember having like that one specific song, but you go and listen to the whole album and
that one
all of it
specific
is so
vibe.
fucking good.
Yeah.
Also the band released in 2023 an EP called Some Songs.
That's the one where they name check themselves. My Cherie Amour, can't do this anymore. Something along those lines.
I think that might be from the debut LP. I don't know.
Don't fucking start with it right
Fun
now. I can't
facts.
do this.
Skylar Accord not only produced this record
Yeah.
alongside the band's guitarist Casey, it was also mastered by Chris Crummett for anyone who cares. But Skylar also played bass on the entirety of the record, is what this band shared as well, which I thought was really cool.
Now circling back to our discussion about Beartooth early on, where you see like Skylar Core playing the bass, it's like I just love this idea that like Skylar Core's like, yeah, I'll produce your album. I'll play a bass on it though. And they're like, fuck. All right,
And
you
the
drive
band's
a
worried
hard
about
bargain.
what he's going to charge, right? The band currently holds just shy of 60K monthly listeners over on Spotify. Sam, Chrome Hearts.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Oh shit, I'll start. Post R&B by arguably one of the best bands to ever do it. Up-tempo, hip-moving instrumentals meshed with a sexually charged lyrical finesse make for some certified hits that'll convert the mosh pit to a dance floor from the opening moments of Beyblade, while quickly sealing the deal with Rauli V's Spanish language-powered feature follow-up in Eons. The beat and high is immaculate. And its later incorporation of a soft yet riff-rich send-off is blended seamlessly, Marcos.
Quick pause on that.
Pause.
The band shared a lot on Twitter over the past couple of days.
What did they say?
They mentioned that High specifically was the focus track off of this album.
What does that mean?
My understanding of a focus track is it's a track that was not chosen as a single, but one that they are like keeping the finger on the pulse of to see how well it performs, because they had great feelings about it.
Interesting.
And
I also have great fucking feelings
Cherie,
about it.
reach out if I'm wrong, but that's how I interpret that. I don't think High was a single, so I believe I'm on the money.
Okay, so it should have been. We're all in agreement then. The melodies are sweet and succulent, a flavorful delivery the band has been synonymous with, 1,800 paranoid straight spitting, and it's got me walking different every time it comes on. Cherie Amour are hopeless romantics whose soul bleeds through every word and instrumental found across this album, and they succeed effortlessly in dragging me along for their heartfelt journey. This is a solid B+ for me.
Heartfelt journey.
Yeah.
B+, love it. No, well,
They're very sweet.
The reason
There's
I
like
mentioned that,
there's a heart to this
1-800 Paranoid being completely about like whether your partner is like ready to break things off with you or not, because they're not really worried about you going out. They're not texting you. Like
Cherie Amour
things are
delivers it with-
slightly off, you know?
They deliver with a tenderness, though.
Yeah.
And
But
understanding.
there's like another lyric on here, and it might have been that track. I don't think it is, but it's a line about like how someone left them broken, but I feel like
shit.
I feel like I'm confused. It sounds so familiar or so similar to like something we shouted out recently on like another band's lyrics or something, but like it's about like being left broken, but like it helping the art or something like that.
Gucci High Waters almost
Gucci
identical.
High Waters
line.
had an almost identical one,
Something
yeah.
something. It's all in the art.
Yeah, or it feeds in the art or something like that.
They're sad boys, both of them. Cherie Amour and Gucci High Waters,
for
two
sure.
sides of the same coin.
For sure. I guess my overall takeaway about this album and Cherie Amour as a whole, as a concept, is that you can, not to go back to like the Don Broco thing about like it being in the air, but like you can, it's so tangible. Like you can feel it in the air. You can almost taste it, how badly this band wants to do something different. And it is so instant gratification of hearing all of those like how badly they want it and how fucking well they deliver on it. Like that instant gratification is so important to like the album listening experience here for me. Because again, this band is trying so many different things, throwing so many different things at the wall. You're bringing in Rowley V. We're getting Spanish on a track. We're spitting on another track. So many different things that we're trying out, and it overall lends itself to making this band sound really, really unique. It's not like completely unexplored material, but like this band certainly makes it their own. They do it really well. The closest comparison I can think of is like a Home Team nowadays, another band that has close ties to a Skylar Chord. So like, I definitely can see maybe their influence here on this record, but it's also something that this band has accomplished in the past on previous releases. So just continue to commend and appreciate them for really pushing the limits of genre blending and things like that. They're one of the masters at it. They fucking rule at it. This record and these songs are no exception. You did not mention, to my disbelief, Sam, lead single off of Chrome Hearts, Release Me, which is arguably, we'll consider that apology, arguably a song of the year. Just a massive, massive chorus. I don't think the TikTok dance has taken off by any means.
Give it time.
But it might.
Give it time.
It might. I want to go to a show and see everybody just doing that.
I appreciate the
like
effort.
in a pit. Release Me, one of the biggest tracks of the year. And then to also be able to like, on the same record, release a track like Reefer Madness, which is all the E's are 3s and the A in Madness is a 4. And it's just a really fun track title.
Deeply silly, but very fun, yes.
Pulling in, I don't know if you know who Lavender Boy is, Sam.
I'm not familiar with Lavender Boy, no. Should I be?
Danny who plays drums. Do those words mean anything to you?
Danny who plays drums, absolutely nothing. No. Not
Neck Deep's
registered.
old drummer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I
thought it was one of the hacktivist guys
like,
initially.
an alias.
I guess so. That's my understanding is that is Denny or Danny. I think it's one or the other. The former drummer of Neck
I really liked
Deep.
him in Neck Deep. I was always bummed when he left.
Well, he departed that band too to like follow some sort of career path in like the type of solo thing he's doing here, and
Okay.
I don't know whatever came of it, but great little feature on this one. We got Saxel Rose as well on 1-800 Paranoid. We didn't really discuss that, but
I feel like I take Saxel Rose for granted. Yeah, Saxel Rose is here. It's fucking great. It always is.
yeah, it's definitely gotten to that level where it just becomes one of those things where it's like, oh, there was great saxophone on this
Yeah, I was
track.
starting to take it for granted.
Right. And yeah, I don't know. I continue to just be enamored with Cherie Amour. I think that they are potentially at the top of their game here. And it's always exciting for a band to release some of their best material going independent, because it's like, just in general, like it's so easy to root for someone like that. And Cherie are just one of the easiest to root for bands in general. As far as, do they release great music? Yes. Okay. They have my infinite support. And again, on this record, they have some of their best tracks yet. Rom-com type beat we didn't touch on at all. Closing track on this record. This is an easy A for me.
Okay, good. Love to hear it. Moving on, Marcos. We also reviewed A Door Left Open by Orthodox.
What the fuck?
Yeah, the band out of Nashville, Tennessee have released their new album also today, June 6th, on Century Media Records. It's the band's fourth studio album and the follow-up to 2022's Learning to Dissolve LP, which I think we reviewed on the show. It's an album I definitely listened to.
Yeah, we definitely reviewed it on the show.
I just don't remember if we reviewed it on the show. It was produced by Randy LaBeouf, who has produced for tons of cool bands like Jesus Piece, Structures, Once Upon a Time, Kubla Khan, Texas, Dying Wish, Boundaries. You know, Matt McDougall has a feature on this album, so that makes total sense. And lastly, the band have amassed over 106K monthly listeners over on Spotify. So very impressive for them.
Nice. Marcos. Dealer's choice.
It's you always.
It's always me, Marcos.
You always.
Let's talk about grimy, dirty, evil metalcore.
Let's talk about grimy, dirty, evil metalcore.
Chip
you have my attention. I'm
chip
sorry.
on your shoulder, hate in your heart, metalcore. Vocals emanating from a dead body dragged from hell and propped up in the recording studio. Not an ounce of joy to be found. Instrumentals, grungy. They hit like a ton of bricks stacked on the back of a semi driven off a cliffside. Godless Grace has one of the filthiest breakdowns I've heard this year, and it's one of a handful on this record. Keep Your Blessing is one of the most fascinating compositions I've heard from a metalcore act, period. The vocal delivery in Step Inside is unreal. The album gives the listeners exactly what they want. It's pure, down to the bone, no questions asked metalcore, but it integrates enough nuances and creative touches to give it more personality than many of their contemporaries in the space, and ends up coming out as one of the standouts in the genre so far this year, A-.
A-.
This one caught me off guard. Like, don't get me wrong. It was on the radar. I'm trying to remember the first single out of the gate. Whatever the first single out of the gate was.
Sorry, was it not Searching for a Pulse?
That sounds correct. Yes. I was like, okay, all right, we're just doing,
or maybe
like,
it was Sacred Place.
I remember the video. He's just like dropping his fucking shoulder while the fucking breakdown.
I forgot about that stupid ass. That shit was so fucking fire.
That shit went so hard, and like I was hooked, right? And then like they fucking dropped, like, I think it was just today, as a single, One Less Body, which is called like the wildest fucking opening, just pure fucking piss and vinegar.
So that track features Brand de Allure of, I believe, Mastodon.
That's correct. Yes, that is correct. Yeah.
Which is just, I don't know. It's funny to see Mastodon on a Orthodox record.
I think it's fun. You're right. Matt McDougall makes more sense. Brand Daler is like a novel one, right?
You have
like
Andrew Newfield as well, or
right,
Neufeld.
from Comeback Kid.
Yep.
But like ultimately, what I'm trying to say is that like this was on the radar, but I did not expect it to sort of be such a fucking walk-off grand slam the way it was the second I listened to it.
Yeah. I'm gonna transition a little bit into like my main takeaway just off the back of a lot of the things that you had to say, which is, you know, let's talk about fucking filthy, beat your meat metalcore, Sam.
That's right.
Evil metalcore.
That's right.
Listening to this immediately after Turnstile made me realize that this is the album I want to listen to when I'm doing evil shit.
Uh-huh.
When I'm stealing candy from babies, Sam.
Yeah.
When I'm like dropping the ice cream cone out of a child's hands.
Yeah.
On
you
the
have
streets.
such novel ideas of evil things to do. It just seems to be
When
like
I'm-
making children's lives miserable.
Right. When
What
I'm
are you-
releasing drones, and I won't get into it. So-
You're like the G-rated Pennywise.
bro, when I am,
Yeah.
yeah,
Think big.
hold up.
Think big.
When I'm
Go big.
stealing a base in a just a
Oh boy.
regular
You're stumbling.
league of baseball.
Yeah, you're stealing a base in just a normal run of
Just a
the mill
rare-
league of baseball where nobody's evil except for you.
when I'm doing a little bit more hand checking at the YMCA.
Fuck all this shit, bro. When you're committing arson,
bro. When I'm
This is the shit
committing
you're listening to.
fucking murder.
yeah.
When I'm stabbing people, when I'm
Yeah.
fucking shooting people,
When you kill the
I'm listening
Batman's
to
girlfriend
Orthodox.
because it's funny.
when I'm I wouldn't go that far. That's a little extreme.
Well,
Yeah.
are you evil or aren't you?
Orthodox just I don't know. All that to say is this is just the perfect fucking gym playlist album
Oh, absolutely.
that's ever been put together. It's just like, hey, do you want 12 tracks that are going to make you run through a wall? Here you go. It's this album. The door is better left closed, Sam. I'm going to run through it. And I don't care if it's made out of cement or metal, it's coming down. Is like the amount of like ferocity that like that's the energy that it instills in me, right? And then it's really just supercharged by a lot of fun features. I really like Andrew's feature, Andrew again from Comeback Kid at the very end of the album in Commit to Consequence. Matt from Boundaries obviously makes so much fucking sense on this record that he should just also join this band. Just fucking
He
match
should just
made
be
in,
at every band
just
that,
match
like,
made in
is
heaven
heavy.
here. I don't know if I'm as obsessed with this. Like the one small complaint I would levy at this record is that I don't know if I'm hearing enough of something new and different. It's just a
No,
lot
you're not
of
listening right. You're not listening right. You're not listening right. You're not listening right.
I think I'm hearing
No.
a lot of stuff I've heard, maybe not always before, but like it's stuff that is familiar, done so extremely well. But I just don't know if I'm
I
hearing
thought this record had some
something
interesting creative touches in it. Like,
Okay.
I kind of understand what you're saying is that, like, the vast majority of it is, sure, like, sort of, like, straight ahead. But, like, I thought there were, like, they chose their moments, and I thought they chose their moments really well.
Okay. No, I mean, I won't disagree, but it does affect my album ranking a little bit. This is just a B+, which is still, I think that this is a big step up from the last record. That one kind of bounced off of me just a little bit.
Yeah,
when
I
it was
think
all
this
said and
is,
done.
we're in agreement there. I think this is a massive step. I think this has a lot more staying power. It's a lot more novel, and it's going to be a lot stickier than that last album was.
Check it out.
And finally,
Limerence by SOTS. Band based out of LA. This released on Version 3 Records the 6th of June, and it is also the band's first body of work. It was self-produced by the band's Noah Thomas, and the band currently averaged 360K monthly listeners over on Spotify. Limerence, you're asking yourself, what does that mean?
What does
Well,
that
it's
mean?
a noun. In psychology,
Okay.
it means the state of being infatuated or obsessed with another person, typically experienced involuntarily and characterized by a strong desire for reciprocation of one's feelings, not primarily for a sexual relationship, just the reciprocation of one's feelings.
okay.
The band had this to say on Instagram about the CP. So again, reiterate that it is their first body of work. They wrote it with the intention of staying true to not only the meaning/feeling of the word limerence, but to ourselves unapologetically as much as possible. Personally, the feeling of limerence hurts, and it always feels exactly the same. Like there's a standard of what love should be, a constant search for the traits of someone I don't even know anymore in everyone else because I'm comfortable that way. Writing these songs was letting go, being comfortable or being uncomfortable. And that's it. That's all they had to say.
Interesting.
Fascinating.
It's like soft conceptual, you know what I mean?
Soft conceptual.
Yeah, like soft conceptual.
Soft conceptual.
Like it
Pick
has a
sauce, Sam.
driving theme, right? But isn't
Sure.
necessarily like fictional, you know what I mean? Like a character who experiences this. Or
Very
something
much
along those
sounds cathartic though with the whole letting go. part of
Precisely.
things.
Marcos, easily the most transcendent new band of 2025, immediately establishing themselves with a unique, entrancing, and deeply addictive style. Their blend of massive melodies, a quiet, lean-in closer vocal delivery, and big explosive instrumentals and the likes of Easy Exit featuring Rain City Drive is truly captivating. And the hard left turn into pure chaos in the opening moments of Said and Done before doubling back to the airy, gorgeous vocal delivery, immaculate. The track also boasts an orchestral-like score blended with a shredding, persistent breakdown. This band does an absolutely phenomenal job of taking like the opposite ends of the spectrum and then just sort of seamlessly blending them together. I think that alone, Said and Done, is one of the biggest songs of the year by far. Velvet is silky smooth, and its placement directly after Said and Done highlight the way this band can easily float in and out of that opposite end of the stylistic spectrum, Marcos. Quite frankly, this whole EP is a vibe. B+.
Okay. Velvet, you failed to mention, features Jaden.
That is correct.
Who I thought stopped stylizing their name as JXDN, but I guess that was a fucking lie.
I don't fucking know anymore. Maybe it's just too hard to change it on Spotify.
Did
so
Jaden
you're
Smith
like,
come
fucking
after him?
whatever, bro.
I don't know.
That's a fascinating theory.
Possible. It's a possibility.
If you had to choose sides,
Sire was so fucking good, Sam. You'll never
shit.
understand.
oh shit.
You'll never understand.
I guess I won't.
And like Angels and Demons is all right, you know, but like
I've only ever appreciated
Sire?
Jaden Smith as a tweeter.
Jaden Smith, his sister and him also had a track called Summer in Paris.
Right, her name is
Which is
Willow.
fucking insane. Willow. I just was forgetting it.
Okay, just
Been a minute
fact-checking.
since Willow was in the news, Sam. She didn't wear a house on her head recently, did she?
She did not, no. Fortunately for her, I believe.
Actually, just thinking about Willow now makes me really want a new album from them. It's probably been at least over a year and a half.
Fair, but redirect and focus.
Redirect to Sachi 6. I got 4 letters for you, Sam.
Is it SACE?
No. 4 different letters entirely, which are
Okay.
ROTY. What's that mean, Sam?
Album of the year?
Rookie of the year, baby.
Okay, shit, let's go.
Sachi 6. Also, very random. Have heard this band in the past. Do you know where?
Did we like catch them opening for someone and not even realize
Feature on Nosebleeder by Lil Lotus.
it? Shut the fuck
Yeah.
up.
It was like track 3.
No, that did not resonate whatsoever.
Funny though. This is so easily one of the contenders for Rookie of the Year in 2025 so far.
So far, this is my house of protection for 2025.
Like Sachi 6, I believe, have reinvented their sound a little bit to be extremely scene adjacent. Here they are, they're collaborating with Rain City Drive and acts like that, and suddenly have my attention, and it's undivided, right? Like we heard Said and Done, and like the opening bits of that track with the whole when the river dries, you'll find me wrist slit, neck stiff, blood on my fingertips or something.
We're
like
talking the type of song that makes you
Bro,
stop in your fucking tracks.
I wanted to just headbang my face into a meat grinder.
It was like this band was delivered from heaven directly onto my lap. Like, it's crazy.
100%. Bro, the whole, if this was a dream, I would wake up, or I'm paraphrasing whatever the lyric is, but that's essentially what it comes across as, into like the massive, like bit of a breakdown there at the beginning of that first track. all of this is so exciting. It's slightly familiar, but it's still so different, and SOTS does it so fucking well. I don't know what we're gonna call this band. I don't know if we're gonna like eventually lean into calling them Six or SOTS 6 always. Like I don't know what it'll.
Okay, I mean SOTS 6 is fun to say, so I'm gonna stick with that for a little while.
SOTS 6. I don't know. I finished the CP and it just feels like I'm listening to a band that is so well beyond like their years already. Like this band sounds like they're up there with like all of my favorite bands immediately.
That's
and
quick rise.
admittedly, like this is exactly the type of music that we are so head over heels, you know, just generally about. Like every time this type of stuff falls on our lap, it's like
Their first
immediate connection with it. And it's because of like a lot of like strong aesthetics, how this band presents themselves sonically, extremely vocal driven, with so many hints of like heavier aspects in their sound as well. Like this band does not shy away from strong, you know, breakdowns, from very colorful lyricism as well. They're just so exciting from top to bottom that like they instantly stand out. And I hear tracks like Easy Exit, Devotion, Limerence. It's just like a fucking 5-6 minute insane track. Just 1 minute of like isolated vocals. Another artist, like the guy from Turnstile, who does a ton of weird shit to his voice and just makes it sound insane. I cannot recommend this band enough, Sam. This is actually another A+ for me.
Okay, shit.
This is going to be a band that we talk about a lot moving forward. I would be shocked if in any capacity they're not like runaway EP of the year from here on out.
Fair to say we had a pretty good week.
We really did.
Thanks for listening, everybody. If you're hearing us on Spotify or Apple, please leave 5 stars. If you're watching us on YouTube, please drop a comment and leave a thumbs up. Thanks. We love you. Bye.
Good.